Hi, I'm Sam, your go-to person on ambiguous grief. I'm the mom who's here healing with you. If you're a mom who has someone else raising your child, you're in the right place. So let's get started.
Limitless, yes.
I'm sure you are not surprised to hear me say that peace is priceless. What you may be a little shocked to hear me say is that even though you're a mother living without your child, you can have peace. You can find peace. Peace is still available and possible to you. When the major trauma happens, like the removal or the termination of parental rights, the next day, I'm not suggesting, oh, you can have peace the next day, but I am promising you that if you subscribe to my channel, go on this journey with me, watch my videos, because I'm going to guide you the whole way, the entire way, from that traumatic moment to where you are living and breathing peace. And peace is priceless. This is something you'll always hear me say. CPS took my children from me. They took my heart, my soul. They took everything from me. Everything that mattered. Everything. And my children are gone. My children are gone. 3 of my children, I don't even know where they are. The youngest 2 have been adopted. So they stole my children and never gave them back. Well, now I have peace. And that is the one thing that no matter what, they can never take from me. And that's the thing about peace, is no one can take it and steal it and never give it back to anybody, because it's yours. It's mine. If somebody steals our peace, it's because we let them, because we handed it over. Peace here. I don't want it. Take it. That's never going to happen, especially once you get to experience true inner peace. So, what you're in the right place. But for any person in any situation, peace is ours. It's something that can never be taken from us. It's only something that we can give away. And that is so powerful. That is so powerful. But today I got three steps for you to think about, incorporate, to follow, and you too, even without your children, can find peace also. The first way, and these aren't in order, one way of the top 3 ways that I found peace was forgiveness. And I'm going to go ahead and throw that word out there because I know a lot of people don't like that word. I know you're probably squirming and shaking your head, and you're just like, no, I will never forgive CPS. I'll never forgive so-and-so for what they did. I feel you. So let me share this story real quick, and while you get comfortable with the word forgiveness, because it's mandatory. It's mandatory. Okay, so when I was parenting my children before they had been removed, I did the scariest thing that I had ever done. I left my abusive ex. I left their dad for good. And so there I was with 4 young children, all 6 years old and under. So there I was with 4 young children, no home. We lived in his home, his family's home. I was financially dependent on him. I had no job, no income, no home. But me and my kids were on a mission, and we were going to get a home. And then we were going to continue to be the happy, healthy, beautiful family that we were. All we needed was a home. So we were on a mission. And in my mind, I remember thinking, man, once I find that home, once we find a home, once we find a place to call home, and I didn't really care what it looked like at this point. Like, I'll make it a home. But once we find that, once me and my kids find that, I'll have peace. Well, my kids were ripped from my arms, never given back. I was legally abused. I was violated. I was traumatized, all that stuff. But towards the end of all that chaos, I realized that I was searching for peace. My intentions were good. We all learn. But I was on a mission to find peace. I was searching for peace. I thought I might find it in a home. And that is not how it works. That's not how it is. Peace is within. And so the whole time I had it, the whole time I was looking for peace for me and my kids, I had it the whole time. It was in me. It was pieces within. So one way to find peace, even without your children, is forgiveness. Forgiving yourself, forgiving you. I had to forgive me. Forgiving others. I know there's that one person or two or three who doesn't deserve your forgiveness. I get it. There was a time a few years ago where if you asked me if I had a dad, where's my dad, something about my dad, I would have told you I don't have a dad. He's dead to me. And I meant it. I meant every word of that. But that didn't match my soul. That wasn't the type of person I was. I always wanted to please my parents. I value and respect the whole ideology of parents. So even though I felt that way, I was always aware that I had to work on that because that wasn't a person that I wanted to be. And I did forgive my dad for betrayal. I have forgiven my ex for absolutely destroying my life, my children's life, their entire childhood, destroyed motherhood. So I forgive him and I have peace, and peace is priceless. I promise it's worth any of these things we got to squirm about to get there. Now, when I say I forgive him, I don't say that like, hey, ex, come on over. I want to rub your feet. I forgive you. Yeah, hell no. But I forgive him in a way that if I was driving down the street and he needed help on the side of the road and I was the only person around, I would call 911. Or I would I would do something nice, okay? Whereas before I would have ran him over with my car. No questions asked, not even what should I do? But no, I 100% in my heart, and my answer is I don't want, I wouldn't do that now. And the way I started to forgive my ex and his girlfriend, they both worked together to destroy my life. They did a very good job. I used to call them the spawns of Satan. Forgiving them, the way it started, it wasn't my idea. It wasn't anything I wanted to do. Probably just like you, God told me to. So I try to rationalize with them, but he's always right. He always wins. And so I started praying for them. God told me to pray for them. And so I did. And I didn't mean a word of it, which God knew. But I kept going through the motions of saying a prayer for them once a day. And after 2 or 3 weeks, I noticed that my heart had softened. I didn't have so much hate for my ex and his girlfriend. And that's when it started. That's how it started. And that's when I noticed it had started. And yeah. I'm sure you've heard the saying, I forgave them for me, not for you. That's exactly what I'm talking about here. The second way that I found peace, even without my children in my life, was radical acceptance. Radical acceptance isn't bowing down. It isn't giving up. It isn't in any way saying that you like and you agree with and you're satisfied with your life. Not at all. But radical acceptance is saying that I accept what is. You're accepting the way things are. You're accepting your new reality and your new life. And it's very hard. A lot of it has to do with mindset. We'll have videos about that. That's why you got to subscribe, follow along, so we can do this together. This is a process. It is a journey. And I can get you to a place of hopelessness, despair, chaos, depression, starting to see the light, experiencing joy, and then peace. Like we can do that. So number 2, radical acceptance. You got to accept the way things are, and then you can take control over what's going on and what you can change. It keeps you in the present time. You're not stuck in the past. I shoulda, coulda, woulda, or they, blame. It brings you into the present time, and you're able to see the things that you can control, which means the things that you can change. What can you do from this point forward? My children are in the care of my ex because CPS is corrupt and doesn't really care about the best interest of a child. Like, I accept that as my reality. So now what can I do to change that? The third way that I found peace, even without my children, is through my faith, through helping others, through being a good person and having integrity. Part of radical acceptance and moving forward and growth is being emotionally mature. It's having emotional regulation. And so being a good person, here's an example. When my ex made the false allegations that caused the removal of my children, and then my children were placed with him, and I lost custody. And he told me he was doing all this to hurt me. He planned it. He told me about it. He used our children as weapons to hurt me. And so when that happened, a normal person would think, oh, okay, check mark. Well, not for a psychopath, no. He continued to destroy my life. As absolutely horrible as the day my children were ripped from my arms was, it didn't end there. I can't even say, I mean, that was the worst day, but so was the day that my freedom was taken for me for something I didn't do for the first time ever in my life. You know, like when I say he destroyed my life, he destroyed my life. Okay, so I was not who I am today, especially in those raw months right after the removal and while this was all still happening to me, the legal abuse, all of it, taking my visitations from me. I mean, it was absolutely horrible. But what I'm trying to say is, on the topic of peace, is I never reacted. He was doing all these things to me, attack after attack after attack. I never called him. I never responded. I never sent a message. I never blew up his house. I never did anything. I didn't tell him off. You know, I didn't call and beg him to stop. Like, absolutely nothing. I did nothing. He got zero response from me. So I'm taking hit after hit after hit, and I'm not reacting to him. And I'm slowly overcoming everything he threw at me, every obstacle he put in front of me to destroy me. I overcame it. And that's what I focused on. And that's what I mean by being a good person. So that definitely led me to peace. And all of that has to do with my relationship with God. If you're not close to God, if you don't walk with God, that's okay. You can still be a good person and find peace. If you have a relationship with God, that's kind of its own path to peace that I do recommend, and I think gets you there probably much faster. But so the third way is my faith, being a good person, and helping others. I think I think a lot of things about helping others, but in regards to peace, like it feels good to help others. And I think that it gives you good juju. I think it increases like your karmic, balance thing. I think it it puts you in a place for God to bless you. That's my personal belief. I really do. So helping others, you're in good standing and grace with God. People respond to you positively. It's good karma. So those are all the things that led me to peace. Even after the removal of my children and the termination of my parental rights, that event was enough to kill me. To kill me. It was enough to make me live just long enough to slowly die and make bad decisions and put myself in dangerous situations and live a lifestyle of illegal, dangerous things. I could have done that. I could have easily done all that. But I didn't. And you're not going to do those things either. We're on this journey together. You're going to make sure you're subscribed. Please press the like, because that gets this message to more people. And I know that there are so many moms suffering in silence because of CPS. And I got a big problem with that. And I want to help those moms. And I want to build and create a community here for all of us. So subscribe, press like, and leave a comment. Go to the comments and I'll be there, and I'll post a question or something for you to share if you don't mind. That would be awesome. Have a great day. See you in the next video. I'll have some stuff in the description for you, and until next time, I hope your day's filled with all your favorite things.